Here in this video, we're going to be covering how to build your first AI agent. Now, for those of you that are creating an account for the first time, we're going to go ahead and click on sign up. And this allows us to select the industry or the agent specific to your industry. So we've fine-tuned each and every one of these AI agents to perform for your industry. What that means is we've given it training data to help it understand your niche, understand your sales tactics, and apply your industry specific roles. I'll give you an example. If we click into real estate agents, you'll see that your AI agent can help you qualify buyers and sellers, follow up and nurture, property search and selection. What that means is it can actually look through the list of properties you have in your listing as a realtor and make those selections for potential buyers that are like, hey, I'm looking for a home that is a 2-bedroom with a pool. Well, your AI can actually look through your list of real estate properties and make that match. Financing assistance, market analysis. There's so much more, right? Now, if I go back and let's say we go into the SDR category here and say I want to build an SDR agent. Well, as an SDR, what are some of the things that you do? Well, SDRs help you with lead qualifications, right? Identifying, qualifying inbound and outbound leads based on ideal customer profile, appointment setting, nurturing campaigns, pipeline management. So these AI agents are trained on specific things. Let's say solar, right? Again, with solar, lead qualification, financing, consulting, provide information on financing options, tax incentives, and grants available for solar energy installation. These are the things that you would do as someone in a sales role for that specific vertical. For this video, we're going to go ahead and build our first real estate agent. So I'll click that. I'm going to say I want it to help me qualify buyers and sellers, follow up and nurture, and I'll just say customer service for now, right? I can always modify this. The area of real estate that I focus in and I'd like my AI to focus in is just residential, right? I don't want it to talk to commercial, get into any commercial real estate. It's all residential driven for what I'm doing right now. So at this point, I'll click continue, sign up, and once I create my account, I'll be able to build my first agent. Because I have an account, I'm just going to go ahead and log in to my account. So I'm going to go ahead and punch in my number here, and I should be receiving a code momentarily. Okay, and now 975-770. Cool. All right. So now that I'm logged in, you're going to see a few of my leads here that I'd like to split test with. I'm going to go right into my agents, and we're going to be able to build our first agent right here. So we're going to get started with our AI agent. What's the AI agent's name? I'll call this guy Mike. And Mike's going to be doing my outbound calls for me, but I also want him to take my inbound calls in case someone returns a missed call. I want Mike to be able to handle that. The title, I'm going to say sales rep. I can also give it. Now, the thing about this title field here is whatever title you give your AI, it's going to wear it on its chest like a badge of honor. So you want to be very strategic with this title based on what you're having this AI agent do. So let's say as a real estate agent, I am building this agent to do my expired listings, right? So I'll just go like an ISA, inside sales agent. And I can just put an ISA. The AI will be able to understand that. It's been trained on these keywords for real estate. Objective now. So here, the key thing is we want to pick one specific objective, and you're only allowed to pick one. The reason for that is because it's specific to that objective. And so what that means is you can bake more into your AI agent around lead reactivation, around circle prospecting, absentee homeowners, whatever the case may be. We are going to be adding a few more to this list here. Actually, in the next couple of days, we're going to be adding FISBO. We're going to be adding speed to lead, probates, foreclosures. So those options are going to be right here for you. So in my case, I'm going to go with our unique category. We actually created this for real estate after seeing how well this is received by the homeowner on the receiving end. I've explained this in another video, but for this walkthrough today, I'm just going to say we're doing a community update. Let's say this property is just sold. And the address here, let's just see, I'll just probably punch in like 123 Noah Street, see if that comes up. Okay, we've got 123 Noah Street in Idaho, Lafayette, LA. Interesting. Let's go with that. And I'll click continue. Now my AI agent knows we're doing a community update around that specific listing and that it's just sold. So I'll click continue here. On this screen, we're talking about digits. Guys, just want to mention that there are how-to videos along each step. So this is 1 minute and 52 seconds that explains this entire screen. In this Let's Talk Digits, the key thing here is we're defining, okay, what are the phone numbers we're going to use to call with first, right? If I click on this, you'll see some of the phone numbers I've already claimed for my AI agents to use. If you don't have a phone number, you can use our global number for testing, but here we're just going to go ahead and claim one. So let's say I want to go into LA and get 213. Well, it's going to pull up all the 213 phone numbers for you. If I want to swap it out, you can just punch in a 3-digit area code and you'll get your number there. I'm not going to claim one because I've already claimed multiple here, so I'll just go with the 213. Now, what callback number should we use if someone requests one during a call? So it's often, guys, where if you're doing a sales call, someone on the other side is going to say, hey, I'm busy right now. What's the best number to reach you on? And this is where you can actually have your AI say, yeah, give me a call back at the 213 number. Well, let's just make sure it's the same number we're calling with. That way, your AI will receive the call from that person and then qualify and engage and continue on that conversation. That way, you're not getting a random call in the middle of the day. But say if you wanted to actually give it your number, you have that option to use your cell phone or your office number. I wouldn't advise that. It's there as an option, but wouldn't advise it. All right. The next question is, what number should we forward live transfers to when a lead wants to talk to you, right? So in this case, let's say there's two ways I like to use this. The first is, let's say that your AI has actually engaged in about a 60-second or even a 2-minute long conversation, which tells us that the AI has been able to navigate the entire, structure of the script that it's been provided. So at this point, we can assume that the AI has qualified someone. So once someone reaches a certain threshold in the script, and the AI determines that this person is qualified for a live transfer, well, your AI will be able to do that live transfer directly to you. Now, I know most of you guys are super busy and can't take a live call in the middle of the day. So if that's you, you can then click on Don't Make Live Transfer. Prefer the AI agent schedules them for a callback. Another use case here is if someone is just like, let's say they take you up on your offer, your AI is pitching maybe a commission structure that they can negotiate on. And someone's like, yeah, that sounds quite interesting. Let me talk to Joe, because your AI agents are reaching out saying, hey, this is Nicole, or in my case, hey, this is Mike, working with Noah. He's XYZ and giving you a call about, so they'll be working and calling on your behalf. And so if that person does say, sure, let me talk to Joe, let me talk to Noah, your AI can make that transfer. And again, if you guys have the bandwidth, I know most realtors don't. So I'll click on continue here. So that finalizes our digit screen. And the very next thing we're going to be jumping into, I think my Wi-Fi is cut. Agent is building. Some exciting stuff's happening behind the scenes. Okay, so let's choose a voice for Mike. You guys can come in here and play the different voices. Californian accent, which I'm good with. Obviously, I've got a 213 number, so it makes sense I'd be calling in California. Got a New Yorker accent, Floridian accent. Choose the voice that fits your demographic and obviously your territory, right? So we've got, I think it's 15 plus custom engineered voices that you won't find anywhere else that we've actually custom engineered and built to do sales. And each of these voices actually come with their own personalities. So the difference between Zane and Dax is that, Dax has got this sort of energetic personality. Let's hear it. We've got Axel with his straightforward, persuasive, late 20s Californian accent. Okay, for this purpose, I'm just going to go with Zane. Zane is actually one of the 4 agents that have secured $55+ million in deals. So the next thing here it's asking is, what are we asking sellers? So this is what we call the KYC step, know your customer. So when your AI is talking to the other person, we have no idea what their needs, their motivation, or urgency is. So in this case, you can actually create your own questions, or simply select the ones that are here. And some of these ones here are very common and they actually work really well. So in terms of understanding the other person's needs, you can ask, are there any significant life changes prompting this decision, such as a job relocation or changes in the family? Now we're talking to a seller. And so this question applies very well, especially if you're talking to, like, let's say, an expired or even a FISBO, right? There is some need behind that sell that they're trying to achieve. So it makes sense to ask that question. Motivation, like what is their real motivation for doing what they're doing? So like, what's your primary motivation for selling now rather than waiting? Or how important, how motivated are you around the selling price versus the speed of the sell? Which is a really good question to also ask. Urgency, right? When do you hope to have your home sold by? Are there any specific events or dates driving this timeline? Example, starting a new job. So I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Automatically, it's adding it from my AI agent, so it's gonna bake it into my script for me here with that step. Um, Now, in my case, we are not talking to buyers in this example. We're doing actually we could be right because we're doing a community update around the 123 Noah Street property. Potentially, I may come across a buyer, but that's not the main purpose of this. I'm actually the goal here is to talk to homeowners and that actually may want to sell their home. But in the slightest chance that we come across a buyer, we can include buyer questions. In this example, I'm not. I'm just going to skip the buyer step here. The next is the calendar step. There's a nice 2-minute, 42-second video you can watch here on how to connect your calendar. That way, your AI can actually look at your available slots and slot your listing appointments on your calendar, right? We want to make sure you're not getting double booked, and that your calendar, your AI is able to talk to your calendar, look at availabilities, create the events, and also communicate the availabilities to the prospect on the other side. Find the times that work for them as well. It's not just for you, but it's got to also ask the homeowner on the other side what time, what day works best for them to then come and match it with yours. And so connect that calendar and you'll be able to select your calendar from here. I'm going to go ahead and just skip this. The pipeline of stages is a very, very important step. For me, this is where I organize my leads and my campaigns across different agents. So let's say, for example, I'm doing expireds with this. Sorry, I'm doing a community update with this agent, right? So my community update is around a specific listing. Let's say it's 123 Noah Street. I may want to create a dedicated pipeline for 123 Noah Street and assign this agent to that specific pipeline. Now, notice right now, 123 Noah pipeline has not been created. I can go ahead and create that in a second. That way, when my AI agent is talking to leads that I've given it, it's putting them in the proper pipeline that I would like it to be in. Therefore, when I do create additional community updates across different listings, I can segment and separate those across pipelines, right? It's one thing to do it with tags. Tags are an option in here, but it's still a little clustered and a little messy to share it all on one pipeline, have multiple leads across different listings with just tags, get a little messy. So I like to use the pipeline for that purpose. Now let's talk about the stages and how these stages work. By assigning my AI agent to the new lead stage, I'm telling my AI agent, hey, the minute a lead comes in here, I actually want you to call them. And if I set this all to 0, it means it's calling them immediately. And here's a stat that we've actually picked up with past calls we've done. And this is calling leads a second time within 3 minutes boosts your answer rate by 80%. Now, most of you realtors that are doing your own dials using Mojo, Triple Dialer, or just calling on your own, um, it gets an answer rate if you do ring back within 3 minute window. It's a huge answer rate. And so it's something that we do share. But again, it's your preference, right? You may want to say, hey, so again, what I'm doing here is I'm adding a call if they don't answer that first call. And I'll just say, hey, I want you to wait maybe 20 minutes and call again, right? And the reason why I would do 20 minutes is because I want to make sure that that person doesn't feel like I am bombarding them with some sort of call, and then get mad at me, right? Now, at the end of the day, my AI is going to be taking that heat, uh, Mike, and he's trained for that. And so, sure, I can set it to 3 minutes if I want to. But I'll keep it at 20 minutes because once they talk to Mike, I know they're talking to me, right? So I just want to make sure that that's received well by them. And then I want to move this to the follow-up stage. So notice I have different stages in this pipeline. Let me just cover the rest of the stages. So we have our new lead stage. We know what's happening there. We have our follow-up stage. This is where our AI nurtures them across a span of like a week or 2 weeks, or even a month if you guys want to. Typically, I use this in this format. So we have this recommendation here of a 2-week cadence that gets a high answer rate. Like you can assume, I think it's about 70% of people will answer with this cadence. So let's say you upload a lead of 1,000 people, you're circle prospecting or expireds. If you set up a 2-week cadence, they're going to answer that call. That's a 70% chance that these leads are going to answer. So that's a good answer rate. Now, once they answer, your AI is getting in there and handling the conversation. So what we would do here is notice in the new lead stage, hey, we've called them twice already within the span of 20 minutes. And I'm going to say, hey, move them to the follow-up stage for me. And then in the follow-up stage, I'm telling Mike, hey, wait 1 day, then make a call. If they don't answer, wait another day, then make a call. If they don't answer to that, wait 2 days, another 2 days. And I'm gradually tapering off here, right? At this point, if they haven't answered any of these calls, Mike, move them to unresponsive. They're not answering for whatever reason. Okay. Um, Now, the hot lead stage, this is where the leads that Mike finds, and the AI agent here is actually quite intelligent, hence the word intelligent in the abbreviation AI. Um, it can pick up on selling signals. So, like, if someone says, if they ask questions, or in the conversation, the AI can identify these signals that tell it that this is a hot lead. And in most cases, you'll realize once you listen to the call and the conversation that AI has had is that that lead or that homeowner that it just spoke with is one call away, and that one call is by you to convert it into a listing appointment, right? And so when your AI agent finds these hot leads, it pushes them into the hot lead stage. And then obviously when it books them on the calendar, it pushes them into the booked stage. Now, you can assign AI agents in the hot lead stage. The only time you'd want to do that is if you want to remove yourself from having to reach out to these hot leads. Instead, you can have, let's say, Nancy or Nick, your other AI agents that are dedicated to handle these hot leads. So what they will do is they'll take the past conversation Mike has had with them and bring it into this conversation when they reach out to John Doe, and carry out that conversation to, and then their objective is to get you a listing appointment. And so that would just be how you would modify the script within Nick or this new agent that's going to handle those hot leads for you. Again, you can just simply click on assign. I wouldn't do this with Mike. Mike's main purpose is to prospect, find opportunities, and push them to the hot lead or the listing appointment for you under booked. Okay, that would be Mike's purpose. Now, speaking of the booked stage, the way you can use the booked stage is obviously the listing appointments that Mike finds for you are going to land in the booked stage of your pipeline. However, you can have another agent, this could be Nicole, for example, that reaches out to those that are booked to remind them of the listing appointment that they have with you an hour before, 30 minutes before. So what that looks like is you would just click on assign and you would wait, let's say 30 minutes before the meeting, then make a call. This just helps them, the homeowner on the other end, remember that they have a call coming up, and it helps you make sure that the person is prepared to meet you, right? So I would do that with another agent. That's how we personally use it. No shows. Let's say, for example, that Mike's pushing for a listing appointment, the homeowner pushes back. So Mike falls back to a quick 15-minute intro call with you, right? That's the fallback approach that Mike would take in this case. And let's say that that 15-minute intro call is due, right? And the person doesn't show up for their intro call. Well, now when you move them to the no-show stage, you have another agent that can reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed you had a meeting with Noah around your property, and speaking about listing, whatever the case may be. I noticed you couldn't make it. I'm just giving you a call to reschedule you with Noah, right? And before it even goes into I'm here, I'm calling you to reschedule you with Noah, it'll go into it'll go into it'll that threw me off track. Let's bring it back. So, in the no-show stage, before it even goes into "I'm here to schedule you with Noah," it'll actually go into qualifying them again. Uh, the same thing that Noah or Mike, sorry, did in the first stage of like, "Hey, I know your property just came off the market," or in this case, we're doing a community update. I keep thinking you're inspired. "Hey, I know you're interested in XYZ. I know you spoke with Mike about this, and that. Is that still a priority for you?" Yes, fantastic. Well, let me go ahead and get you back on the calendar with Noah. So this AI here, at least that's how I would like to use it personally. I like to make sure that that person is qualified to get back on the calendar, because I don't want it to just book a lead that isn't really qualified. Now, again, it's Mike's job to make sure that that lead is qualified, puts them on the 15-minute intro call with you. But if they no show, something must have happened there. And so I want this AI to be able to qualify them again, confirm, they're ready to list. Otherwise, we'd be wasting everyone's time, and then put them back on the calendar. If the person says they're not interested, your AI will move them here. If they also say, hey, don't call me back, they will move them to not interested, right? The unresponsive we covered earlier, the CMA. So these can actually be rearranged and moved up a little bit. The CMA is obviously, if your AI asks, hey, would you be interested in the CMA? And they say, yeah, I'd be interested in the CMA. I'd be interested in learning what my property's worth. Your AI agent will move into the CMA stage. Ready in 90 is quite an interesting question. I will bake ready in 90 into the conversation. If people are like, no, I'm not ready yet, and they still don't have a clear timeline of when they will be, well, the AI's next question will be like, do you think you'll be ready in the next 90 days, or will it be more than that? I don't think I'll be ready in the next 90 days. Great. They don't fall in here. They'll probably fall in the hot lead. You can also create another stage called ready in 6 months, right? Um, but if they do say, yeah, reach back to me next month or come back to me in the next 3 months, well, your AI is going to move them to the ready in 90 days for you. Now you know this person is actually ready in 90 days. Another one, if they're interested but not ready, right? Obviously, no one's going to come out of the door and say, yeah, I'm interested in potentially your listing, but I'm just not ready. And sure, you may get that, but your AI is going to pick up on those signals in the conversation that imply that they are interested but not ready. And so it'll stop them there for you. And so it would organize it for you. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the pipeline and stages. It can actually get a lot more dynamic. I think I just covered the kind of the core key components of how you would use this, but there's a lot more to it. So let me dismiss that and click zoom out here. I think I'm zoomed in. Perfect. Let's continue. The script. So as you can see here, the script was already built out for you, right? Based on those questions you asked earlier, the script is in here. So it's opening up the conversation with, hey, first name, I'm reaching out to share some updates about properties like yours in your area. We're currently working with homeowners nearby and thought you'd be interested to know, and yada, 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 right? So it goes to the pitch, it's got conditions. It'll, if they're not interested in selling, it'll go into this condition. If they are interested in selling, it'll go to this first condition. And so it'll kind of go in there and ask its KYCs. So this is the script pre-made, very short. If they do ask questions about the property I went to through Noah Street, you probably have this listing available on Redfin or Zillow. What you can do is actually open up the script builder, which is Chat GPT, but wrapped to do your scripts for you. So you don't even have to think about how to create your scripts or modify your scripts. So you can just tell it, I want a script for FISBO, I want a script for a community update, or you can simply in plain English come in here and just like modify and wordsmith to your preference, right? Like this is just, think of it as like a Google Doc you can modify. And your AI will be able to make those adjustments. Other key things under advanced settings, we have the objective. This is kind of like the system prompt where it tells the AI, hey, this is your main objective. You've got the guardrails. So things like, hey, unrealistic expectations. So if the property that you're, not the property, but the neighborhood or the market that you're farming in, let's say, on average, the homes are worth $500,000, and this person's coming in here saying, yeah, I'd be interested in selling my home, but I'm asking $1 million. That's an unrealistic expectation. Your AI can pick up on that and be able to know that. So how does it handle an unrealistic expectation? Well, this is how it would handle it. So prospects with unreasonable demands, such as expecting an immediate full cash offer without negotiating or refusing to allow an inspection. That's also another way of picking up on unrealistic expectations. If they're selling unrealistic properties, so on and so forth, right? So that's kind of the advanced settings. Also, you can bake in your objections in here. There's always add new. You guys can bake in the objections. It's one thing to come up with your own, but also it's another to just use the script builder here and ask it to give you some objections around this, or create objections in the style of Jeremy Miner or Chris Voss, and it would actually be able to do that for you guys. The KYCs are ones we created earlier. They'll kind of reappear here just to kind of give you a quick high overview. But again, there's a 13-minute video here to watch and learn how this entire step works. We'll click continue, and at this point, your AI agent is ready to go. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that these AI agents come right out of the box ready for you guys to start dialing with. This is my leads table. I'm going to just go right back to my agents here. Let me get that new agent we just created in here. There's my guy, Mike. This is my community update agent, my inbound specifically, right? So when people do return missed calls, my inbound is there. And then this is my outbound. This is going to be my main AI agent that's going to be doing all the outbound calls. We separated these two into two separate agents. And the reason for that is because of analytics. We want to be able to determine how many people are actually calling back and how many people is our inbound agent booking compared to our outbound agent. And it helps us to easily segment that data from this kind of view. So if I click over more info, there's so many options within this to help you tweak and perfect this AI agent to your preference. I'm going to go ahead and start with the personality. So in the personality space here, you can actually make Zane a bit more expressive, balanced, or calm. Starting pace, response speed. The response speed is something I like to play with as well myself. So example being, if you're calling a younger demographic, there you want your AI agent to be quite quick in responding as soon as they're done, right? Now, keep in mind there is machine learning in the background where it's detecting that based on what the person is actually saying, they've reached this conclusion in their statement, right? However, that's kind of hard to do with the way people speak. I can keep going at the end of that statement as well, right? And so we in here give you guys the option to make your AI agent fast if you want to. Now, if you're talking to an older demographic, let's just say it's 60 plus, they're still, you know, working through their thoughts as they're speaking. And so you want your AI to be slower, balanced in that. So we've included these options considering what we've seen with those two different audiences that your AI is talking to. Um, so these are the options you have here. Starting pace is at the very beginning of a conversation. Do you want your AI to be instant, have a short pause, or delayed? And then obviously you have your voice options back here to swap around. Calendar, we've already selected, I've explained that earlier. Pipeline and stages. I mentioned I wanted to create a pipeline specifically around 1, 2, 3 Noah Street. So I'll just head over to pipeline. And right over here, I've got quite a load of information in my pipeline. So for me, because I have thousands of leads in this Q2 pipeline, loads a little bit longer. But I'll go ahead and click on open here. Actually, I'll create a new pipeline, call it 1, 2, 3 Noah Street. Oh, and now once I've created this pipeline, I've got my clean pipeline, no leads are here. Now I know when I'm calling around this listing, all the lead data is going to fall right in here for me. Makes it easy to access and see. We've got over 10,000 integrations. So if you've got like a Follow Boss CRM, KD Core, Lofty, Sync, the list goes on. Ajax could connect into a majority of those. Actually, uh, if they have integration capability, we can connect to it. And so that's kind of how that works when it comes to building an agent. Hope that was helpful. And I do have a checklist. I'll create a whole separate video for like a 3, 4 step checklist before you do make calls, just to make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. I think that's what the kids say. But yes.